Hi, my name is Megan Kocher. I'm with Rural Organizing. We're here today hosting a food drive for Luzerne County on November 15th, 2025. We're hosting a food drive today to help the community in Luzerne County. All of the food that we collect today, we're going to take to a local food distribution site so that our neighbors have support through the delayed SNAP benefits that we've had for November. As a lot of us know, the Trump administration has made massive cuts to federal food programs. The One Big Beautiful Bill, supported by Rob Bresnahan and Dave McCormick, made substantial cuts to Medicaid and SNAP. That, coupled with the delayed SNAP benefits, has been just absolutely crushing to so many families, especially leading up to the holidays, who aren't able to afford food to get through the next couple of weeks. So our goal is just to come together and build this foundation of mutual aid so that we can support the community through our government not doing its job and supporting families like it's supposed to.
My name is Roxanne Rembis. I'm from Swearsville, Pennsylvania. A year and a half ago, my father, Joseph Rembis, fell in the house, and he had to be put into a long-term care facility, Riverview. And at Riverview, the thing is, the cost on a monthly basis for staying there is almost $11,000 a month. My father did not have that kind of money to pay for that cost monthly. So he had to apply for Medicaid. Medicaid pays for over 90% of his care at the facility. So when I heard about the possibility of gutting the program, it put me in a precarious situation because I had no idea how in the world we were going to pay for his care on a monthly basis at the long-term facility. And it really scared me. And similarly with SNAP, I've never had to use that particular program, but I remember growing up and we used to get food from the government early on. My parents did not have a lot of money. We used to get cheese, milk, things like that to keep my parents going at times. So I can't imagine, taking that option away from families who use the program to live day to day. It's just not human. I always say this, and I believe it at the bottom of my heart. This is not a political issue. This is a people issue. This is how people survive on a day-to-day basis. Ripping the rug out from under people for these programs is inhumane. Politicians are supposed to be there for the people, represent the people, not hurt the people. And getting these programs is hurting people on a consistent basis. It doesn't matter what political affiliation you even have. Everyone gets hurt. Thanks for listening.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Stevenson. I am currently a Luzerne County Council member. Today is a really beautiful day where you see just community members coming out to serve. As we know, due to budget impasses, even though the budget is now passed, people are still hungry, obviously, and that's very much a reality. So we're getting together to collect food today, to be able to distribute to those individuals in need. This is really, really important work. More often than not, you're coming across someone who is experiencing hunger or is experiencing food insecurity, and that's real. If you can lend a hand or come out, or if you are someone directly having that experience, please reach out to the Democratic Party, to Megan Kocher, to me on Luzerne County Council, so that way we can connect you with the necessary resources. I'm a person who's been fighting against food insecurity for a really long time in my lived experience and in my professional work. So this is something that's very close to my heart. I show up to a lot of college campuses. I communicate with a lot of students who are facing those challenges. So I think it's important to be able to have access and really change the conversation about food insecurity as a whole, right? The system itself is not structured to be able to serve. It's a power structure, right? Our limited access and the gatekeeping that takes place between food to direct service to people, it's completely unnecessary. And I think if we can change the way that we think about providing food to community members and the system of addressing food insecurity as a whole, we could really make some real change. I think the best way to kind of partner with county council or at least have access to that conversation is by reaching out. A lot of the times it seems as if we're not accessible to the public, but we very much are, and we're right here in the streets with you. We are in county council, and our members and a lot of community members are coming together to really start this conversation, especially an organization called Food Dignity right here in Northeast Pennsylvania, who are serving folks directly from local farmers. So So come out, reach out to us, tell us you want to be a part of that conversation, so that way we can really set that table appropriately for your attendance.
Hi, I'm Tony with DSA here for a food drive in Luzerne County, in a local bank that's been vacant for some time. Democrats in this area have used this area to organize. So we're here today supporting our local community to offset SNAP cuts that have gone on from the government shutdown that has basically achieved nothing. Our government's been shut down since January, since Trump has taken office. He's trying a bunch of different programs to cut supports that our government has supported our local communities and to take advantage of it in the guise of saving money, but in turn it's destroying our fabric of our community and country. This location is a good example of the institutions of capitalism that block and hoard food. It's relatively easy to get access to food, but there's artificial constraints put in place to block people that don't have the funds or resources. We live in a country that is, and in a state that is overly abundant. There's plenty of food out there, food that's being thrown out, food that's being thrown out before they're even produced, or maybe in the supermarket that they throw out that's perfectly viable, but that's not getting to the hands of people that actually need it. Those, through our capitalist system, they keep food as a commodity, even though it's a necessity for human life. And as a DSA, we'd like to get food to people that need it and sustain life.
My name is Denise Parashak. I'm a registered nurse. I volunteer with the local Democratic Party. I also volunteer with our marches, with Indivisible, with the No Kings marches, and with the food drives that take place. I'm a volunteer locally, and I get involved in any way I can that can help people. This is just so important. It's just this affects people's lives. This is a life and death situation. As a registered nurse, I've seen people coming into the hospital, especially elderly people who are malnourished, who just cannot afford to purchase food. And it affects them in so many different ways. Malnutrition could lead to dehydration. It could lead to heart disease. There's so many conditions that affect elder people. And then they'll have to go into a nursing facility. Nursing facilities are already overcrowded. And these are situations that really could have been prevented with proper nutrition. But oftentimes they can't afford the proper nutrition. Also, when it comes to healthcare, there is so many diseases and conditions that could be prevented before they get worse if the person has access to preventive healthcare. For example, I know myself, I am a cancer survivor. The cancer that I had was detected at a very, very early stage. It was able to be cured. I had surgery, but it was detected through testing, through early diagnostic testing that was covered by insurance. If someone does not have insurance, they can't afford the diagnostic testing. Their condition gets worse and worse until it gets to the point where they have to go into an emergency room. And then oftentimes it becomes more difficult to treat, and the outcomes might not be so good. There might be a lot of problems there. Also, my husband is a cancer survivor, again, caught at a very early stage only because of testing, because of early detection testing. Because oftentimes with diseases like cancer, with heart disease, there are no early symptoms. And oftentimes by the time the symptoms arrive, the person might be in a much later stage. It might be difficult to treat. And in a country like ours, where there is so much wealth at the very, very top of the income level, it's just unfathomable that people have to suffer in that way. And also young children not being able to have food, not being able to have a good supper, going to bed hungry. and then going to school and not being able to concentrate, not being able to do well in their tests. That affects their ability to get into a school, to get into a college. So this becomes a generational thing, and it's just very, very sad. And that's why we have to do as much as we can do to help these people. And also to get legislation passed where people could afford to be on the ACA, where Medicaid could be protected, where Medicare could be protected. So we just have to all get together and do whatever we can.
My name is Tony Perzia. I'm a retired school personnel. I used to work as a custodian at Wyoming Valley West. And I saw where children didn't have food to eat. And the SNAP program is important for the children so they have something in their bodies to eat so they can learn. Without that, they can't learn. And I am so excited about today that we're having this food drive. If you don't get excited about helping your neighbors, there's something wrong with you. But this government has to come back and implement the SNAP programs and take care of the people. That's a promise that they are supposed to take care of people who can't help themselves. And I'm so glad of all the people that are here. A lot of people were mostly Democrats, but there's Republicans. It's not a political issue. It's all about the people. I'm so glad I have this opportunity to speak to you. Come down and contribute and be a part of helping your neighbor. Thank you.
My name is Emily Novikowski, and I'm the founder of the Blue Hat Ladies. Matter of fact, we're going to be celebrating our first anniversary on November 22nd. And here with our chair of our advisory committee, Betty Dean.
Hi, I'm Betty Dean, and the Blue Hat Ladies are here because we think that there's nothing more important than making sure that our families are fed. And apparently there's some people down south from us in the capital that don't think that's so important. So this Valley with a Heart is rising up to change that.
Yes, we feel it's very important that people get food. And I know of a lady that had money put in her SNAP, and she was supposed to get $100, and she only got $11 for November. So they're going to have to depend upon food banks like this. But we're very glad to be here and help out and donate food and see all the donations that are coming in today. So thank you all.
And it's not just about food, because people have other expenses. For instance, I have a family member who currently on the Affordable Care Act pays, I think, about $300 a month out of pocket. And this family member is not at the poverty level or anything else, is doing fine. But if nothing changes, come January, that same family member will be paying $1,400 out of pocket just for one person. Now, what's that going to do to their ability to buy groceries for the family and that sort of thing? So these are all interconnected, and whatever we can do together and whatever everybody who's watching this can do together, that's the thing that's going to make a difference.
Hello, my name's Emily Singh, and I came here today to help with the food drive because the economy that we're living in, we're seeing rising health care costs, cuts to SNAP happening. Housing is getting more expensive, and just inflation is going up at an incredible rate that does not match what people are making. So with the holidays coming up, a lot of people are going to be having to make tough decisions on, having Thanksgiving and affording things for their families. So I think it's really important right now that we all support each other and chip in when we can. My family was low-income household, so I have had to rely on programs like SNAP throughout my childhood so we could eat. And I think, no matter where you fall politically, we need to make sure that our kids are not starving. And that's why this is so important right now. So please, if you can help in any way, support any type of food drives, local food drives happening, please get it out in your community and support those resources.
Hi, my name's Alexia Kelly. I live in Scranton and I'm with Action Together PA. I came to this event today because I think it's really important for people that are struggling right now to know that there's a community out there trying to support them. Everybody knows it takes a village to raise a child, and these are the times when we need to be the village for those families. There's a lot of unsureness about our future when it comes to people's healthcare coverage and SNAP benefits, and especially with the holidays coming up, we need to make sure people have something to eat. We need to make sure children can still enjoy the holidays as normal and give people that sense of normalcy that they're lacking right now, and we have to do it together.
Hi guys, my name is Amy. I came out to this event today because I work with our local low-income families that benefit from a lot of the programs the government offers. These programs, however, are getting slashed left and right. These students, they benefit from programs such as SNAP, Medicaid, those are also getting cut. They're taking away food, they're taking away healthcare, they're taking away education, they're taking away childcare. You know, what's next? So I came out because right now we need to focus on our community. We need to focus on, getting local, getting right at the roots, getting just with the people, knowing everybody's names, saying, hey, I'm your neighbor, I'm here for you, and I care about you.
I am Nina Ancharsky. I am from here in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and I work with multiple organizations here that are getting this food drive together. I am actually one of the organizers of the food drive, and I did provide the space for the food to come. I'm just really passionate about building stronger communities. The way you start to change the world is at home. And this is my home, and I want to make sure that my neighbors have what they need to make it through these really difficult times. We cannot rely on our current government to take care of people, so we need to make sure that as community members, we are taking care of our friends, our families, and our neighbors every day. I think the hardest part of starting something is taking the first jump. Your first time might not be perfect, and that's okay. You can do better the next time. So you just have to pick a date, pick a time, design a flyer, and start spreading the word. And if you could see what happened here, people just start showing up. People want to take care of each other. Most people are good people, and when you have a moment for people to stand up for community, they tend to actually stand up for community. So I think that you just have to take the chance and spread the word, and it will keep growing and growing. The more that you do community-based events, the more community members will show up. It is really important, especially now more than ever, that we know our neighbors, that we take care of our neighbors, that we talk to our neighbors, and that we understand our neighbors. There's a lot of divides between people right now, and it really stinks to see people stop caring about each other and start to dehumanize each other. And I think that it's really important to build these communities because we are all human and we all have to take care of each other. And the more we stand together, the stronger we are. And that is my message.
Today was an absolutely incredible show of community and of support. We collected a ton of food. As you can see here, we have dozens of volunteers. So many people that I haven't even personally met came out today to help, to box up food, to load cars, to bring food from people's cars. Overall, it was just an incredible show of community support and solidarity with our neighbors who are struggling because of the cuts and the actions by Republicans in Congress and the Trump administration. This has proven to be an essential way to support our community. What I would say, if you wanted to do something similar, so many of these folks we found through protests, through local community meetings, and we pulled them into this Foundation of Mutual Aid. My recommendation is that if you want to do something like this and put together a food drive, start by finding a couple of volunteers who could help you, publicize it as much as you can on social media and everywhere else, make the mission clear, and continuously use everybody in your network to continue building foundations that could support us through much larger actions of resistance. The fact is, protest is a great way to bring people in the door, but we need to continuously escalate what we're doing in a way that could better support the community. So our next step from protest was hosting this fantastic food drive.